ever heard the saying, more money, more problems? Today we're going to talk about why that is so true and the exact problems that scaling business owners face as they go bigger and bigger and bigger. Basically, what happens to your business after you blow up, it can get real difficult. I had a conversation with a salon owner and her life has gotten crazy in the best way possible, but also in the worst way possible. So today we're going to break down what are the 5 things that stop business owners as they grow, how you can fix it, and how you can keep your business from burning you out the bigger that you get. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Ashley Milkey. I'm a certified life and business coach and I make your life easier. So join me Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for awesome tips like the one in today's video. And here's the thing. I am so committed to this Monday, Wednesday, Friday upload that I've been keeping on it while I'm in Mexico, which is difficult for a whole array of reasons, mostly because my computer does not support editing videos. It's a dinosaur. Once upon a time, this bad boy was like the greatest computer you could have. I mean, look at her. She's sleek. She's slender. She's a freaking gold, okay? And then all of a sudden, I try to download my editing software and it's literally like, oh no, your computer is a dinosaur. We can't even put editing software on here. So luckily, my friend is letting me use her MacBook while I'm in Mexico. And luckily I fly home from Mexico tomorrow. So like filming will be back in my usual location with my cute little plant. Hopefully she's okay. Hopefully my husband watered her. I know he did not, but that woman wants to thrive. Fun fact about that plant before I get into these tips. That plant I've had for over a year, and over a year ago I got 3 plants and every single one of those plants had died, including a snake plant, which how do you kill those? I did. I had a dog. I was like, I can keep the dog alive or I can keep the plants alive. This is really what it comes down to. And I decided it was Max, but for some reason the Monstera wanted to live so bad that it didn't matter how many months, years she went without getting water. She just kept trying to thrive. And so I decided to water her. I decided that she is the one plant I'm keeping alive and I really hope she's doing okay while I'm in Mexico. So one of the biggest problems that I see happen for business owners as they're scaling their business is they start working a lot of hours. And they start working a lot of hours for a lot of reasons, especially when they blow up. It's like you have a content creation schedule to keep up with. You have to market yourself. You have to help your business. You have to make sales. Like you are wearing all of the hats. And so what we want to do is we want to take all of those hats and we want to start giving them away to other people. But the problem people get is like, what hat do I give away first? They get into decision paralysis. They can't figure out how to make their business simplified by giving away work, and delegating can be really hard, especially if your business is like your little tiny baby and you don't trust giving it away to anyone else. And there's a lot of opinions on what kind of thing that you should hire out for first. A lot of people are going to say get a virtual assistant, get some kind of assistant that you can delegate tasks to. I didn't go down that route. I actually went down the route of getting a support coach, getting someone to do the things that I was doing to help my clients, because I was working with a lot of clients at the time, and I knew that if I made their experience better and if I could work with more clients at a time, that would give me better transformations, better testimonials, and that alone would help me market my business better. And so that's where I started personally in my business. And then after that, I went down the route of getting a VA, which is interesting because if I think of the story of the salon owner who's struggling right now that I talked to in a sales conversation, she also was like, how do I get more people to do what I do and do what I do really well? And there's all of these debates around whether you should like hire independent contractors or VAs or outsource and things like that. And what I've learned is the best people for your business are going to be people that you hire for your business, who care about your business, who might not be like your average online support, if you know what I'm saying. Like you can hire a virtual assistant, you can hire an online business manager who do that for lots and lots of people, or you can hire someone for your business that you kind of take under your wing and you train them and you provide them tools and resources to be really good at their job. And I found when I do things like that, it makes my life easier. For example, the time that I made the most sales when I was selling in my DMs, when it was me and my sister and I were working together to create a system to make sales in my DMs, and like we were in it together, we owned those projects, and I found it's a little bit harder to find independent contractors who are willing to kind of adapt and conform to your systems. They usually come with their own systems. So that's just something that you want to think about when it comes to training. Do you want to have to spend the time training someone? That's a con. But do you want them to follow your own system? That's a pro. Or would you rather hire someone who already has their own system? That's a pro. You don't have to train them. But the con is, you know, then you have to hope that their system works and you can't really make changes to it. So these are things to think about when you're hiring team members. How hands-on do you want to be in the training? Either way, if you invest that time up front in training someone to make sure they do something really well, it will help your business grow in the long run, because what happens when you get your time back is all of these hats that you were wearing, you take them away, and what happens, you get all this free space inside of your brain to do other things like, I don't know, rest and come up with good ideas. I think that's the first one most business owners who are scaling want. want is time to chill and be a human and enjoy the money that they're making. And then after that, you can get really creative about new offers that you sell and how you spend your time and how you can make more income streams for yourself that you can eventually pass off to new team members that you hire because your profit margins are growing. The second mistake is so crazy because it's actually a lot of people scale their business without a true business plan. Okay, and hear me out. A lot of people wing it. They risk it for the biscuit. They do what they gotta do to get it done. And I've worked with so many coaches, so many in-person product owners, regular service providers, all kinds of things who have built a business just winging it. They don't have really any standard operating procedures. They don't use contracts. They, just hire employees and hope they work with them. They don't do a lot to protect themselves. And so if you don't do this, it makes it a lot harder to scale your business because your business plan, essentially what it does is it gives you the roadmap for how your business grows and it makes your growth sustainable. But without one, as you scale, the question becomes, what are you scaling? What pieces of your business are scaling? What pieces of your business are working really well? I think the biggest mistake that you can make in your business plan is not having really a system for training your employees that's easy to pass off to other people, processes that are super easy, and having these business plans makes it easier when you do hire people because that's where you say, hey, this is exactly how I do things. Now you do it and you run it. For example, if I wanted someone to come in and let's say do all of my content for me, I wasn't gonna do it anymore. All I was gonna do is film and other people were gonna edit it, upload it, publish, schedule it, write in my voice, all those things. I would wanna have written down a super simple process to do that so then I could hand it off to people. It's just as simple as that. And then you can make systems and procedures and processes for anything in your business that's causing you problems. For example, my sister, when she was my OBM, she would come in and I would complain about all the things I didn't like and she'd be like, awesome, we're gonna create a system for it. We're gonna create a strategy. We're gonna go into ClickUp and we're gonna create the 4 steps that you do to solve this problem so the next time it happens, it never actually happens again. And all of these things are bottlenecks in your business. And so essentially what happens if you don't have a business plan, you don't have systems and processes, you don't have easy things that you do every week to continue to scale your business, you get this little stuck thing in your bottle. I almost think this is a bad example, but Coronas, how people put the limes in there and you got to push the lime all the way down so then it doesn't make the drink get stuck. You're getting the lime stuck in your Corona and that lime is going to stay stuck and it's going to happen every single week until you figure out your business plan and get these systems and processes to help you grow. And until then, you just stay really, really frustrated. The next part is so bad when people do not have a plan for expansion. A lot of times business owners grow really fast. In 1 year, your business can explode and you could have never thought it would happen. And you're so in it where you're like, okay, tomorrow I have to worry about this. Tomorrow I have to worry about this. And you're just worrying day by day. And you never get a break to pull back and look at the full picture to see how you're going to continue to grow over the next 5 years. Even the next year puts you in a really bad spot because this is why business owners work so many hours. They can't envision how they're going to add more income streams, how they're going to expand their business, how they're going to allow themselves to work with more clients. I've worked with life coaches who book out themselves with one-on-one clients and then all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe. All I'm doing is working all the time. Yes, they can hand off tasks to VAs or whoever, but they're still working with so many clients and that doesn't give them the time that they need to start to think of new offers that don't take up as much time. Maybe it's group programs, maybe it's teaching new things, maybe it's courses and all of these things, even products that you can add on to expand your income without expanding your hours becomes so necessary as you scale because your time is going to become so limited and you want it to become limited. You do not want to overflow your hours with 80 hours a week. This is how people get burnout. And I know that most people who blow up within a year inside of their business end up getting into this point where they're super burnt out, they're super tired all the time, and they can't think of expansion. And so it's really important to, I think, have some days, at least CEO days are great for planning out what you're going to do in the future, innovation days you can call them, or even a singular call you have with a coach, a mentor, a team member, somebody, yourself, where you're sitting down and really thinking through what am I doing to make my business grow? What are projects upcoming that can expand our reach, can expand our income, can expand our talent pool that we have available to us in terms of employees? All of these things matter as you grow. The next one is not operating like a boss. And maybe you understand what I mean. So let's say you do have employees, but you've kind of befriended them and you're not really good at asking for what you want from them and you struggle to have conversations that are hard and you don't really deal with them when there's conflict and you kind of just let everything skate by no matter how you're feeling about it. Horrible, horrible, horrible. You want people to look up to you as the leader of your business because you're the leader, you're the visionary. But what can happen is if you don't tell people when things are wrong and you're not sure how to communicate and you're not sure how to set boundaries and you're not sure how to problem solve with your employees so that they get better, you're going to get to to the spot where you're really resentful of your team, they're not doing work well, they're not being very efficient, and it slows down the business. Another bottleneck we encounter, and we definitely don't want that to happen. And so if you want to avoid that, you have to learn, what does it mean for you to be a leader? How do you want to step up as a CEO, and how do you lead your company? What do you do when your team members are failing? How do you set goals for them? It's almost like you have to learn how to coach your team to be good team members. What do you expect from them? How do you set those expectations? What happens if they don't follow through? And a lot of times, like, this is just stuff that we need to think about. And I know some entrepreneurs that I work with are like, I'm worried that I'll be too emotional if I talk to them, and I don't know how to process those emotions. And all of that is important to learn, how to regulate your emotions, how to have hard conversations, to be a good boss that allows your business to grow and continue to grow sustainably without so much effort on your end. Because a lot of times what ends up happening when people don't operate like bosses inside of their business is they don't set expectations, they don't have hard conversations, and they take on the workload. Someone messes up, so you take it on. Someone doesn't do the right job, so you have to do it over again. When in reality, if you could have just had a hard conversation in the first place, it could have shifted everything. For example, let's say I have people who are helping me make sales inside of my messenger, and I don't like how they're doing it, or I don't think they're doing enough, and I wish they could do more. It's really easy for me to get to the place where I'm like, okay, forget this, they suck, I'm just gonna go in, I'm gonna go do it myself because I know I can do it better than them. But the point of being a business owner isn't that you do everything better than everyone. We know you can do things better than everyone. That's how you got a successful business. But what you wanna learn how to do is take a step back and be like, how do I do this better than everyone? What am I expecting? How can I communicate how I do things so people can do it as well as me? How can I train them? How can I ask them what they're missing? How can I offer support? Because the more you work together with your team, the easier it grows. And you don't want to get to the spot where you're feeling resentful. It's easier just to have those hard conversations in the first place. The biggest problem you're going to face as a scaling entrepreneur whose business is blowing up is that you're going to care more about your business than you care about your personal life and rest. And this happens all the time. It happened to me because, especially with the time that we were living in, when we were all stuck inside because of the pandemic, and maybe you have a pandemic business. I know I did. My business became my whole life. It was so easy to work on. It's the only thing I had to do. I wasn't going out. I wasn't hanging out with friends. Zoom calls and FaceTimes can only get you so far with entertainment. And so a lot of us poured everything into our businesses because it was all that we had. And now, if you're scaling and you got to the point where your business is booming, you can't continue to let your business be all that you have. It's really, really toxic. It's really, really bad for your mental health. And it's bad for a lot of different mindsets that you're cultivating within yourself. For example, your money mindset. I know so many business owners who are like, I have to work hard to make money, which is not true. You do not have to drive yourself into the ground to make money. I have people who think the more hours they work, the more money they make. That's not true as well. There's this theory of diminishing returns, and I'll put a quote up about it. And it's like, there comes a point where the hours you work are actually going to get you less results. And that's not great. We don't want that. We want you to be well rested and innovative and thriving and excited to work. And so if you actually want to build a business that sustains itself, you can't be the backbone of your business. You can't be the only person that cares about it. And you can't be a person who doesn't care about yourself while you care about your business. You need to have personal time. You need to have hobbies and things that make you excited and that are fun. And I don't overthink the hobby thing. I had a call with a client the other day, and she was like, I don't have any hobbies. I don't know what I want to do. She's like, I'm multi-passionate. What are things that I enjoy doing? And I'm like, it's not that deep. Follow what excites you that day. Go paint, go read a book, go binge Netflix. Anything that is not thinking about your business actually will drive results inside of your business. Because the funny thing is, when I go outside of the realm of business, I always come back with ideas for business. For example, I was watching Funny Girl, which is a really, really old movie with Barbara Streisand, and I'm sure many of you have heard of it. And when I was watching that, I actually got an idea for my business. But it was because I was resting and looking at media that had nothing to do with business, nothing to do with teaching me anything, nothing to do with learning anything, that I got ideas that actually ended up getting me, downloads and clicks and clients and sales calls and all those things, all because I had a thought from something that wasn't my business. So if you're someone who's like, well, I can't rest, I need to grow my business, I think a way you can trick yourself into it is by doing these restful things. You will be growing your business. You will get ideas for your business. But on the other hand, you deserve to have things that are just for you, and you deserve to enjoy the life that you've built for yourself outside of your business. And I think the hard thing is you have to figure out what is holding you back, and not just holding you back from scaling, what is holding you back from being a person outside of your business, because only then can you start to shift and navigate. For example, in my program called Burnout Breakup, we actually talk about this a lot. We talk about, what are your mindsets that are making you work so hard? What parts of your business are driving you crazy? We fill those immediate gaps, and then we get into the cold, hard conversations of how can we have more fun in your life? How can you trust your business will grow? How can you trust yourself? How can you trust your team? How can you stop people pleasing so you can be a person outside of your business? And if you're struggling to do any of those things, feel free to book a free 15-minute call with me where we can map out what's going on and see if you're a good fit for Burnout Breakup, which is a program that will help you break up with burnout, but also shift your mindset and start to pivot your business so it's one that doesn't take up all your time, that doesn't run into all these 5 mistakes that we've talked about today, and allows you to have more freedom and ease and do fun things like, fly to Mexico in the middle of October for no reason other than to work with your friend and launch a podcast. Speaking of, if you want to listen to fun episodes about how to identify burnout and ADHD specifically, why I quit drinking except for 2% of the time, or any other fun topics like that, check out the Living Adventures podcast in the description below. That's it for me. I will see you guys next time. Let me know which part of this was helpful. Comment yes down below if you agreed with any of this, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.